All right, welcome into a draft night edition of the Garden Report. John Zannis here with Bobby Manning, Jimmy Toscano, Josue, Pavon. This segment presented by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code GARDEN20 at manscaped.com. And guys, let's get started here. The Celtics made, the night's going to be defined a lot by what they didn't do as much as what they did. They didn't make any huge trades. They had 3 picks in the first round, and there's no player movement either. We'll just focus right here, this video, just on what happened with their picks, okay? So they made a selection at 14. They made a selection at 26. They traded out at 30. Let's begin at 14. They selected Aaron Nesmith out of Vanderbilt, a shooter, with the 14th pick. There was a couple guys people really liked who were still lingering ahead of Nesmith. And then, when he was taken, maybe a couple other people that, some people like better. On the whole, though, this seems like a value pick in this spot as a guy who can shoot. Josue, we'll start with you. What do you think here?
I love it. I know it's not what everyone wanted. Everyone wanted the Celtics to trade into a top pick. But if you look at the Celtics' needs and what they most what will make them a better team next year, I think his outside shooting is a huge concern, at least in my opinion. I think guys like Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, they need that sort of knockdown shooter that they can spread the floor and help them get to the basket easier.
Right.
And I think that if you're the Celtics, you picked the best shooter that was available to you. Sure, you failed in trying to trade into the top 10, but you fill a void. You put yourself in a situation to help not only your team as a whole, but in my opinion, the two most important players in Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. You want to see those guys continue to grow. I don't think those two guys are done growing yet, specifically Jaylen Brown. And I think bringing in a shooter like this, a kind of shooter that Brad Stevens hasn't had since he came to Boston, and I think it's going to really help his offense tremendously. And hopefully it pans out. I think that they did make the right pick, though. If it doesn't pan out, I don't think you look back at this pick and think, what were the Celtics thinking? But, of course, people will. That's sort of what we do here in Boston, right?
That's what we do. We overreact to the positive and the negative. Jimmy?
Exactly.
Yeah, if this is a bust, I'll totally be looking back and saying, what the hell was Danny Ainge doing? He
did it tonight all night.
He let Precious go. Are you kidding me?
But, Precious right there.
The Precious.
The Heat, again. They got Hero and Precious.
Swindled by the Heat once again. But, no, I think I went into the draft. I think we all got hung up on, they should try to trade all their picks, or they should try to trade 3 for 1 and move up to the top 10. And when that didn't happen, I think it didn't matter who they took. People were going to be disappointed by it. But if you're going to take a guy at 14, I'm happy that they took a shooter. I'm happy that they took a player that can contribute. It sounds like he can contribute right away. They need role players. We said that last season. They had one of the best starting lineups in the NBA, but as far as their depth was concerned, a team like the Heat came in and showed them what a deep team looked like. So this is a player that can contribute. We just mentioned Tyler Hero. Wouldn't that be something, to get a guy that can contribute the way Hero did for the Heat? Obviously that's a high ceiling and high expectations, but why not the Celtics? Why not a guy that everyone's saying is the best shooter in the draft? So I'm glad that the Celtics are actually the team that took the best shooter in the draft for once.
Yeah, and Bobby, you did a lot of scouting here. Give us the ceiling here. Give us the best case scenario on what the Celtics might be getting.
I like Jimmy's comparison to Chris Middleton. There's long tools here, defensively in a good system. He's well set up to be strong on that end of the floor. He's not a great athlete, so there's a big difference between the two of them. I don't think you're going to see him putting the ball on the floor the way Middleton does. So you're looking at a guy who compares favorably to Danny Green, and Danny Green was a big part of those championship Spurs teams in his prime. Could defend on one side of the floor, nail a ton of shots on the other side. He was pushing Finals MVP in 2013 before the Spurs lost. So this guy comes in with all the translatable signs that he's going to shoot well at the NBA level. He was taking deep bombs at Vanderbilt. He was shooting 87% from the free throw line every year, and in over 100 looks, he goes 52%. That's a staggering number from 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like when I made the Middleton comparison in the live draft show I was laughed at, but it's good that you gave Jimmy.
I was gonna give it to him.
I'm always
you gave
doing
Jimmy
that.
credit there.
I was thinking the same thing. It's true. He definitely said
I
that.
give for two hosts who beef a lot on here. I give Jimmy a lot of credit that he doesn't deserve.
Yeah, seriously, dude. I was gonna take it. I appreciate that.
No, so that's fine. So that's who we have. Number 14, Aaron Nesmith out of Vanderbilt, a shooter. Again, this Garden Report segment was brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off free shipping with the code GARDEN20 at manscaped.com.